Yeah, most certainly, Joe. That transformer, one of 17, helps control the voltage power that is sent out to customers. In addition to that, officials say that they are still investigating what led to this isolated fire.
That is not good.
This transformer went up in flames after equipment within failed, sparking an isolated fire. There are a total of 17 electricity generating transformers, 9 on the exterior of Nevada's powerhouse and 8 on the exterior of Arizona's powerhouse. Spokesperson with the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, Doug Hendricks, says this transformer impacted was on the Arizona side.
Fires are rare in power plants. They're not out of the ordinary, though. You have a lot of static electricity, especially after you generate hydropower.
Hendricks says water goes into the dam intakes. Then water flows beneath the dam to the powerhouse. It hits electricity generating turbines. The electricity is then sent to one of the transformers where the voltage is stepped up so it can travel through power lines. The power then hitting the grid to homes and businesses.
We're still generating pretty much at best capacity we can now with the depleted reservoirs, but we're trying to determine exactly, what the cause was.
Hendricks says the transformer is on the exterior of the powerhouse and there was no damage to other equipment or the power grid. And of course, as we continue to understand what exactly happened and how this fire came about, we actually have Doug Hendricks with the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation joining us now live. And Doug, we have some questions here for you. Of course, this was a very big event for the Hoover Dam as well, but we want to understand how this was done to make sure that things were put out, that fire was put out as soon as possible, and how you guys were also able to avoid other major damage.
Well, fortunately today, when the fire started around 10:04, it was isolated on the transformer deck on the Arizona side of the power plant. It was external. It was on the external portions of the transformer. We had basically, from early reports, a bushing go out, started a small isolated fire. Our fire suppression equipment immediately kicked in, started dousing the fire. From there, we had a fire brigade of our local workers went down and put that out. We've got engineers and some of our senior leadership down there taking a look now, also with some inspectors to see exactly what happened. Very fortunate, no injuries whatsoever. And another thing that was fortunate is that we were able to continue right on generating hydropower. We stayed fully up on the Nevada side of the power plant and then also on most of the Arizona side. For a while we slowed tour services down, but we resumed tour services this afternoon after the fire was put out. So, like I say, personal safety is our first and is our priority. So, no injuries to either people here at the facility or to our personnel fighting the fire.
In addition to that, a lot of people who were here were actually concerned that something may have happened to the power grid, right? So you actually say that there was no damage to the power grid. How were you guys able to make that possible?
Well, fortunately, the fire was very confined to the transformer deck, to the A5 unit. A5 stands for Arizona 5. We have on the Arizona side of the power plant, we have 8 generating units. We have 9 on the Nevada side. So it was isolated specific to that unit. All of our protection equipment kicked right in, so it was isolated to that, and so we were very fortunate. What we'll do now is we'll take a look at what caused the fire. We'll get to the bottom of that, then we'll release that information. We'll do an after-action report. We'll release that information to the local news media, the local officials, and then try to avoid that ever happening again.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for that critical information. And of course, we want to continue our coverage on this isolated fire here at Hoover Dam. So I'm going to send it back over to Joe Moeller. Joe.
Abel, thank you for that. As many of you know, the Hoover Dam has a long, rich history, and with that rich history comes aging. We spoke to a local historian about how often a transformer like this could blow.
Transformers can blow. That's something that can happen. It's not common by any means, but it can happen. That has happened before, and it will happen again.
Mark Hall-Patton, who you heard there, says even though the structure is aging, it is not in danger of falling apart. He has the dam is nowhere near being compromised. Now, another important fact is how quickly this fire was put out. For more on that, we send it over to our chief investigator, Darcy Spears, to continue our looking into this incident.